Akasha here from SomaFlow. Welcome to our 777 portal party. 7 has been a number that has followed me around all of my life, in my numerology, in my house numbers, phone numbers, you name it. If I'm there, so is the number 7. So I'm sure that you, like me, have been feeling a range of Ascension symptoms. So stay till the end of the video because I'll be giving some different tips for them. Now, I wanted to fill you in on some channeling that we've been doing, and no surprises. This period is very, very, very important. Not because of the day, not because of the number, and not even necessarily because of the stars. It's important because of you and the work that you have done, and particularly that all of humanity has been doing. So the information that I have is that a number of new innate abilities that humans really should have anyway are going to be coming online for many of you in the coming days and weeks. And you might be feeling a little bit weird because of that. Often as new abilities come online, it's signaled by energy changes in our body, and that can feel weird because we're conditioned to imagine that any new sensation in our body must be something to be fearful of or afraid of and to close down on. So what I'm going to give you as a general invitation is whatever new sensation that you are feeling, just take a moment to sit with it. And a bit like the chaos of this cat here, don't judge it. Just let it move around you in your body and be what it is, and invite it in and have a little conversation about what it wants to tell you. A beautiful lady who attends an energy session that I go to a couple times a week was saying today how, for example, she's experiencing all this pressure in her head and she wanted it to decrease because it was uncomfortable. I totally relate to that. So if you're feeling these new sensations of discomfort, you are not alone, but it is not a sign of the bad. It is a sign of the rebirth. When you may not have been pregnant or had a baby, and you may never, and that's fine. But one of the obstacles to birthing our babies is to accept that whatever sensations that we are experiencing as part of the birth are what they are. And if we just open to them and judge them not, and say to ourselves in a sense, I am big enough to birth this baby, then that new life can come out of us, because it's about releasing, opening. And as soon as anyone feels fear, we clench our muscles. And what happens when we clench our muscles? It's like we're programming friction and pain and energy blockages, really. So the more that you can do to just feel open and just let whatever's going on, however weird it is, move inside of you, I would think that that would be correlated to the ease with which you're going to feel these new abilities and skills come online. So what might they be? There's a whole lot of different things that humans innately should be able to do, whether it's clairvoyance, clairaudience, even telepathy, and many other skills and facts. So depending on what is coming online for you, you might be feeling pressure in that way. If your third eye is going to open in a visual way, perhaps you will be feeling that pressure behind your eyes. A lady that I spoke with today is feeling pressure in her ears, and she knows that that is because her clairaudience is being refined. Now, how do we know which skills and abilities will be coming online for us? How do we choose them or have some kind of control over it? Well, that's a little bit interesting because we're all here to be different. If we were all here to be the same, there'd be no point to it. Would that be fun? Fun for the divine? No. It'd be like the divine going to McDonald's. Divine doesn't want to go to McDonald's. Divine is a bit of a foodie. Foodie, and that they want a whole smorgasbord of possibilities. So whatever's going to be coming online for you is probably going to be things that you have sensed a little bit in the past, like they've worked for you in a little bit of the way, I don't know, or things that you've asked for. Here's the beautiful thing about the divine. What you ask for, you receive. However, you need to know that you deserve to ask and you deserve to receive, because if you don't believe that you deserve, you will not ask. You'll just sit in your corner and wait like a wallflower for the beautiful, bountiful gifts of the divine to be delivered to you. And so they shall. However, you can ask. You are an active aspect of the divine. You are the creatrix. So if there's something that you want to come online, please ask for it. My friend who was feeling the pressure in her ears had asked for more clairaudience in the same way that she has other abilities such as clairsentience and other forms of clairvoyance. She wants her ears to come online so that she can better hear the multidimensional beings that she converses with. So I think spend a little bit of a moment with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that you really want? And then really just imagine that to be so. Now, that sounds all very easy. So what I have done is I've released a special 777 portal edition of the New Earth Breathwork that I channeled that morning after the live with Robert Edward Grant on Orion. I have to say, the last 3 weeks have been a journey, to say the least. I had no idea that morning when I channeled that breathwork what it was going to open up. In that, upon releasing it to the world, people wrote to me, many people have written to me, saying that upon doing that breathwork, all these abilities have opened up for them that they'd never even had before. I list some of them in the blog, but there's way more than what I've even put in the blog. And, people who've experienced being able to talk now with plants, with animals, with water, mermaids, that they weren't able to do that before. It had never even been on their radar. And that wasn't an intention of the New Earth Breathwork at all. I was just communicating it as a pattern of energy that had been given to me, in the astral field or the 5D field. I even had an amazing experience yesterday in the breathwork session that we did on Orion, where a lady said how for the first time, because we now do the New Earth Breathwork as a group now on Orion, a lady said that for the first time ever during a meditation, she had sensed the heat of energy and the build-up of heat in her third eye. And she said that she's been meditating, her adult life. She was very visually open. She described an amazing vision she had during the breathwork. And so she always has had visions during meditation, she said, but she's never felt heat, never felt energy. Now that to me is wild, because for me, it is visually, I'm very, very open when I'm in what would be called an out-of-body experience, except I don't really associate it as being out-of-body. It's just an astral body experience. So those are that is where I'm very visually adept. But when I'm here and I'm meditating, for me, it is energy that I feel. I feel heat. I feel pressure. I feel movement. I feel movement. I heal movement too. I do it all. So that is wild. So what is on your path to be unlocked and to unlock is unique to you because you are a unique fractal of divine, and that Dharma, that pattern of Dharma lives in your heart. It lives here. So only you can unlock that. This brings me to another topic. I have noticed on Orion quite a few people coming in lately and saying that the architect doesn't sound the same for them. They just can't seem to have the same resonance with it. What is going on? Well, there's probably quite a number of explanations, but let me just offer for a minute a potential spiritual one. And that is, imagine the Lord of the Rings trilogy if Frodo never lost Gandalf. Or imagine The Matrix if Neo never lost Morpheus. There is such a thing as the hero's journey. We come, we see, we are guided, and then our guides disappear, and yet we must conquer. And that is the path of the hero's journey. If we take out the part where we have to learn how to do it ourselves, well then we never reach spiritual adulthood because there's always the authority figure who can take control and fix it all for us. The path of the divine in us is to, in a sense, wake up as us, not necessarily remembering that we are the divine, but then the path of us is to wake up remembering that we are the divine. And to do that, we can have no external helper. It has to come from in here because it's about that reintegration of it all being one, and what your teacher knows, you also know. Now I have to celebrate because as I was doing the 7/7 portal blog and recording the audio today, I realized, and this is how perfect it is, that we have now done 7 sessions of the new Earth Breathwork as a group. There was the Solstice Live activation, which, thank you, so many hundreds of people have visited here on YouTube. And then there's been 6 sessions that we have done on Robert Edward Grant's Orion Messenger. Now, if you want to join those, please message me as Akasha, simply my name, Akasha. You'll see it down below on my channel name. That's my handle on Orion. If you want to know how to use Orion, I have a video here that shows you how to message people, join groups, etc. Message me. I'll add you to the group. Maybe in future, we will do group sessions off of Orion, but currently, as far as I am aware, most people who want to do the breathwork sessions together as a group are on Orion. So that is where we're doing it, because Orion has already that full functionality of setting up a meeting and doing it within the actual group itself, which is fabulous. Okay, so we have done that 6 times. More than 20 people have come to those sessions. Always there's been on average about 6 people each one minimum. And the beauty of a group session as opposed to doing it yourself, although doing it by yourself is very important too. But when you come as a group and we do, basically it works like this. We do the recorded meditation together. There's a period of integration and music, then a period of silence just to let it all just percolate and settle through our bodies, and then we verbally share, if we want to, the experiences that we've had. Now, the beauty of doing it as a group is that energetic power, I find, can kind of have a positive network effect, and what you experience alone can then be amplified as a group. And even more than that, you'll find when you do breath work or energy meditation work as a group, particularly with the same group of people over a period of time, it's sort of like you may be thinking like, oh, I phase lock with the architect. Well, you kind of almost phase lock energetically with them because you start to become very sensitive to who they are as a frequency, even over the internet, over Google Meets or Zoom. You get a sense in your heart of who they are. You can reach out to them, connect with them. They become, in a sense, your energy family, the family that you always knew was out there, but you didn't know how to find them. And it's beautiful because as time progresses and you share, you realize that people's experiences are very similar during the meditation. And even I was finding this weekend that people reported the same experiences across, he's biting me. He's having a good old chew of my hand. People reported the same experiences across sessions. Morning for me, Sunday, someone expressed how they saw all of us in the one toroidal sphere with a column of light coming up between us. And then a lady, 8 hours later at the second session, reported the same thing, that she saw us as all part of the toroidal sphere and that column of light coming up, and she in fact saw it opening on top into a lotus. Oh my God. Now, this isn't anything that is in the meditation, guided meditation itself. This was all them coming with these stories. So what I really, really want to do in future is have a group session that everybody can attend, whether Europe, US, Oceania. And so that'll be happening in the next few weeks. It'll end up being very early for me. I'm sorry if you're from this part of the Oceania world, but it's so that we can have people from Europe and US attend, because I just can't wait for what will happen if we're all there and we've all built up these skills with the new Earth Breath. So if you want to download it, it's there now, link below. There's a whole new version up. And let's get on to those Ascension symptoms, maybe what they are and how to look after yourself. So if you're feeling that kind of headachy build up in the third eye or your head, treat it as a blessing. This is what you've been waiting for. And I know it can feel uncomfortable. Oh heavens, like at times when I've experienced third eye openings, I've literally just had to lie down in my bed for a week with a headache. And that's not everybody. Everybody can't do that. You might have people to care for, a job to go to. I totally understand. You know what? In India, I remember reading this in Yogananda's autobiography of a yogi, that in India, that this is 100 years ago, you could, if you had a job, you could say, I can't come to work. I've got Kundalini rising effects. And then they would like, okay, here's your pension. You don't have to come into work anymore. How good would that be? Hey? Universal basic income for everybody going through a Kundalini rising. I love it. I love it. So I have a video on here for third eye activation. And if you are feeling pressure in your head, I recommend doing it because it will teach you how to manage the energy. When we feel a pressure, it's because there is a buildup of energy. And so what we need to do is bring consciousness there so that we know how to move it. So the activation audio here will teach you how to move it. Now, this may look like something familiar, maybe even a little bit phallic. And I have to tell you that when you know how to consciously move it, that does become a release of, and I'll say it, orgasmic energy, okay? It's orgasm of the head. Pretty powerful stuff. So if you're feeling a bit of build up there, it's okay. There is good times ahead, all right? So check out that video. I'll link it below. Another one is ringing in the ears. Every time I hop onto Stefan Byrne's channel, Schumann Resonances, he's like space weatherman guy. There's always people in the comments, hundreds of people going, my ears are ringing, I have tinnitus. My darling, it is the sacred Om. It is the sound of creation. And I have a video on here, which is Life in 5D, Life in 5D, how to astral travel. And I share in that video how to use that not tinnitus, but that ringing in your right ear to travel in the astral world. So what they don't realize is that that ringing in their ear is their gifts coming online to astral travel. Oh my freaking God. So it is not a bad thing. Does it go away? In my experience, no. I don't know. I'm sure that maybe you could ask for it to go away, but I never asked for it to go away, and I have to say it's been very loud today. Sometimes it's always there bubbling and percolating in the background, but then maybe today and yesterday it'll come out as a really loud, almost siren-like. So if you're hearing that, it's okay. Check out my Life in 5D video, which will tell you what to do with it. Now, the last 2 days, I literally felt like vomiting. I really did. This is something I have often felt when there's a lot of energy. I get very nauseous, but I was so nauseous. It was like taking me back 13 years to when I was pregnant last time I was pregnant. Only things I could eat was like fried samosas. And this was hilarious because I went from pretty much a raw, wasn't vegan, but plant-based, close to veganish kind of diet. It was all green smoothies and veggie juice, okay? to going, even that lettuce, that piece of lettuce, looking at it is going to make me throw up. And so the funny thing that triggered it for me yesterday, this is hysterical, was that I was drinking veggie juice just before nighttime. Nothing odd about that, but then, oh my God, I was so ill for like the next 18 hours. The only relief I got probably was when I was doing the New Earth meditation with the group on Orion. And I had to just step back and go, you know what? I'm birthing something here. Yes, it's not a physical pregnancy, but I am birthing something. And so these are the symptoms the divine is giving me to just release and let go and be conscious in my body. So it gave me the gift of really opening. When we do the New Earth Breathwork, I've lost my ability to speak, almost like I was pregnant again. When you're pregnant, like your brain and mouth and everything goes to jelly, like it's the plastification of your brain. Everything gets remodeled so that you can welcome in the new baby, basically, and be that new mother that you become. Anyway, that aside, so doing the breath field work with the group, I actually listen to the audios too, so I can relax and do it. And so it was a beautiful experience of just opening and feeling everything and then just letting it all subside. Oh my God, even the memory of it now is making me feel nauseous again. Such a weird thing. I have a stomach made of metal generally. So if you are feeling nauseous, just take care of yourself. In that divine feminine debunking video, I talk about, eating prana and everything. So don't be worried about if you just can't stomach any food for a few days. Often I find that when I'm in a period of, if I were to feel like this or something similar, it's basically the divine's way, spirit's way of telling me, you need to purify yourself now. There needs to be a period of purification. For example, prior to the solstice activation, I'm allergic to meat and dairy, but I do sometimes have a little bit of fish just to maintain, my female body as it is at the age it's at. And I was told very clearly, energetically, that I was not to have any animal flesh for the 48 hours prior to that solstice activation, and so I didn't. So when I'm feeling this level of nauseousness, if I were to feel that, I know that important things are happening in the field. It's much easier to process higher energies if you're not also processing dead meat. Okay, it's just the way it goes. It's not always like that. So do pay attention if you are feeling a little bit nauseous to what's in your diet. How can you clear it, clarify it, raise its vibration in a sense? So maybe bring in more organic foods, more living plants, and just listen to your body and your own inner guidance about what else you should be having, okay?